In order to work with traces, you have to drag an audio file into the file drop box. That's this sort of darker blue area to the left of the device. Once you do that, the principle behind each voice, there are 4 voices in traces. The idea is that you're going to grab a fragment of that audio that's part of your waveform. So whatever is shown on the waveform display, you can sort of scan through that part of your waveform with a position slider, and the position slider will determine where to start scanning the waveform or playing the waveform, and it will play for the length that you determine in the rhythmic section with the rhythm sliders. So you give it a rhythmic value, say like a 16th note or an 8th note. So what will happen then is that that fragment of audio will be looped, and it will be both multiplied by a grain envelope that will determine the shape or the contour of that fragment of audio, and then that's going to be passed by a sequencer that will determine the volume of each repetition of your fragment. So that's how you can sort of create textures. What's cool here is that you can slide the position slider. You can move the position slider as you play. So depending on the waveform that you have, you can come up with different sounds. And I'll demonstrate that next. Okay, so here I have a basic session of live. Just for purposes of the demo, I'm using Live 10. I have a regular audio track with my mic connected, as you can see here. I have a second track with traces. So I'll just start by recording something onto Live. So this is my first recording, and I'm just going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and stop that. And I'm going to make a couple of other recordings just so you'll see why in a second. So this will be my second recording, and this will be my third recording, and this will be my fourth recording. The first time you open traces, it sort of shows it's all blank. So what you need to do is drag a file. You can drag also from your Finder. I can just grab a file from here. So the first time you drag something into traces, it loads automatically that same file on all 4 buffers. But then the second time around, for example, I can grab this second recording and then drag it to the second buffer, a third recording to the third buffer. So each buffer can have its own recording, right? So let me go ahead and clear that with the C button over here, and start over with the first recording that I have here. Let's see what happens now. Doesn't matter where you drag it, it automatically goes to all of them. So this waveform control, here's where all the magic takes place, where it happens with traces. Let me go ahead and spread all the pannings here. So what I want to show you first is that we have 2 basic panels, right? The first panel is where you deal with the waveform and some global things like the panning and the volume and the overall envelope and the filter pitch information. In fact, we're going to bring the key tracking down to 0. And I'm going to set the rhythmic amount to, say, a half note. So now when I try to play a note, what's happening is that it's trying to play the first half note of the full recording completely, right? So if I move this slider as I play, I'm going to sustain the note now. Now it's the second voice that's playing. they're all locked. This is now my first recording, and I'm just going to count out 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. So, of course, 1, 1. If I move my rhythm, make it much shorter, say like 16th note. Let's see what happens now. One, two, three, 4. And so basically that's the basic concept behind traces. Of course, I can now move around my grain envelope, make it a lot shorter, and then you can come up with these sort of funky vocal starter effects. Let's give it a shot now again. I'm going to play one note. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the next example, I'm going to work with a more musical file, as opposed to just me counting out numbers.